Today we're going to do a quick unboxing video of the Sigmaprobe. Stick around. Hey there viewers, thank you for tuning in to Supermariodiagnostics once again. Today, as stated, we are going to open this box up. It's a neat little tool that was sent to me by this company, Sigmaprobe, or, well, could be VX, DAS. I don't really know much about them, to be honest with you. They are, I believe, a Chinese company. It's a made in China. And if you notice, one of the things that really stood out to me was the shape of this tool. It looks just like the PowerProbe hook, which I love, and may end up doing a comparison video in the future, but for now, we're just going to open up this box. Backstory is, this company reached out to me and they said, hey, check out our YouTube video, and it showed this tool, and I said, cool, I liked it, and I thought there was a lot of pretty interesting features with it, and I had a lot of questions anyway, and I went ahead and left a comment in their video, and they said, you know what, let's just send it to you. They did send it to me for free, and but they're not paying me to do this video, so I'll just put that quick disclaimer right there for you. All right, let's jump right in. Neat packaging. We got a couple of features on there. You can visit the website for that, but let's go ahead and open this sucker up. Like I said, this is just an unboxing. You will be seeing this in the future, depending on how it performs. Nice case, I gotta tell you that. I mean, this is not even the comparison video with the hook, but I can already tell you that the huge difference in the case. I can barely fit the hook sometimes into my into the case that it came with, but we'll leave that for that video. We'll have them side by side and see how they do. I'm gonna throw this box away because what are we gonna do with that? I do see some cutouts here. They may allow for other tooling to come into here, but for now I'm gonna leave this as is. It looks like a TPMS tool would fit in there pretty well. But anywho, a little keychain there. We're gonna start with the main unit before we go with anything else, or maybe the user manual, but this is stuff I read at home. I'm not gonna read that right now. We've got the main unit right here. It's pretty straightforward. If you are familiar with any electrical tester, this would be pretty straightforward with the looks of it. I mean, the quality is okay. We'll see how long it lasts in the automotive field. This is the first time I use it. There's a USB port in here actually. It's probably to update. Maybe updates come with this tool. We've got this looks almost identical to the hook, but we've got a fused ground lead here and a 2-prong connection. This is a pretty straightforward unboxing. I wasn't expecting it to be this simple. Maybe we'll put this thing in action instead of just an unboxing for this video. So got some nice jaws there. That is a huge jaw opening. That's pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. And a nice separation between the two. I would be lying if I told you how much separation you get, but it's about a foot, I'd say, a foot apart. You'll be all right. We've got the relay tester here. We got our USB port, right? And we got a bent, gold-plated terminal. Not a terminal, a test probe. Pretty sure it's not supposed to be like that. Let's put that back. And we're back in business. It does have some kind of it's not a smooth finish. There's like a bit of a sandpaper, kind of a better grip with this. Oops. We've got a gold-plated, not real gold, I bet, but gold-plated probe. It's pretty sharp actually. And an alligator clip, and our regular relay tester right there. Pretty straightforward, nothing crazy. And of course, with a tool this big, you're gonna want to use an extension. So that is it for the unboxing. We can shut down this video. We're done. Just kidding. We got a 14 Chevy Malibu here for testing. We're gonna go ahead and hook this sucker up. Right off the bat, I could tell you, man, this cable is much easier to handle than what I'm used to. So it's a nice little plus there. Whether it's a good thing or not, well, it's not gonna hold as much current, that's for sure. But let's see where we go with this thing. Oh, that was straight to the point. That was pretty fast. Let's see what Smart says. Hit up, nothing happens. Hit down, nothing happens. Side to side, nothing happens. Okay, so that's back. If I want to go back to the main menu, I hit back. So that's the Smart Probe. Pretty straightforward. Everybody knows what that is, right? I'm going to put that to ground. And it does it pretty fast, actually. It's not a very slow response time there. That's pretty fast. Let me zoom you guys in here. We got pretty quick response time here, right? That's with the Smart Probe. And let's go back and check out some other settings. We got a multimeter. Still no activation of the probe. We got the options for voltage, ohms, diode, and continuity test, amperage, and hertz. So car's not running right now. I'm just gonna skip all this and go back. That's one thing I kind of don't like. If I wanted to go back to the main menu, I would have to go back all the way. Oh no, it just says hertz. So how do I get to the main menu? Press OK again? I don't see a way to get back to the main menu, which is odd. What if I hold back? Hold back. Hold back and we're back in business. So once we're in here, of course, this is what happens when you don't read the manual. You hold back to go back. It's got an oscilloscope feature, which, let's face it, that's what I really want to know. We got division, 1 volt, 16 volts, up to 16 volts per division. Time. That's a weird way to interface with this thing, but anywho, hold back and we go back. I want to activate something. This feature is being upgraded. There's no ground activation. There's only a positive activation. Well, we could go to latch. Maybe we could. It doesn't really let us. Oh, all right. So it lets us set amperage, but it doesn't let us set what kind of pulse width modulated activation we want, like so what kind of frequency we want. So it does let us latch, but that's it. I don't see. Okay, there it is. We've got a pulse. I don't see the option to change that pulse. Not too big of a deal. Looks like we have a 0 to 5 volt reference here. I do apologize for the glare. I really want to try this out here. We've got an injector function test. I asked, one of the questions that I asked was if this could do GDI injectors, and they didn't really give me an answer. But we're going to find out. That's the real thing I want to do. So it sends out a ground signal, so just so you know. It's funny that they would send out a ground signal for the injector pulse test, but you can't do an activation of a ground. That is so weird. Let's see what we can set this amperage up to. 18 volts is max here. I'm sorry, 18 amps max. That's not a whole lot, but it's doable. All right. P and end. I'm not really familiar with that. I would have to see what they mean by that. There's not much going on. There's a setup. I'm not gonna do all that. But yeah, let's see what the scope can do on this thing. All right, so we're hooked up to a cam sensor, and we do have a cam signal. See if you guys could see this clearly. Not too bad. It's a one-channel scope. I have it set to 3 volts per division right now. Let's see, this one, if you hit up, it goes down in voltage. And I want to change my time base. We're decreasing our time base right now by hitting the right. Let's go all the way to our max time base, see what it looks like. That's 500 milliseconds. That is the max time base right now, which is good enough for us to know, you know, that it's going to ground and it's going to supply voltage. So in our case, it would be 5 volt signal. It's a 2 volt per division, and it's going to about less than 2.5 divisions. We got a good clean 0 to 5 volt signal. I would like to see what else it can scope. Obviously, you're not going to be doing any relative compression tests with these. It sucks that that's all the time base you get is 500 milliseconds, which I would assume this is not per division. I believe that's 500 milliseconds across the board, if I'm not mistaken. Could be mistaken on that, but it doesn't specify, and it does give a good min max. That's pretty cool. It gives a little min max right there, voltage. I would like to see if this thing does min max on amperage as well, like the hook does, but that's pretty important for me with parasitic draw testing. Anywho, I know you guys really want to see another kind of waveform. Let's see what we get from a CAN bus, high-speed CAN bus. Let's see what that gives us. Let's go ahead and put a breakout box because we do not spread pins in here. And I'm going to turn off this music so that nobody mutes my YouTube video. And go grab that probe. And we have a signal. I will bring the zoom in. And I will try to be as still as possible doing this. I'm going to try to zoom in on that. Got 5 milliseconds on the screen. Let's put down our voltage. We cannot maneuver this waveform to go up and down, so what you see is what you get. But it is fast enough, sort of fast enough to get a CAN bus signal on there. I wouldn't use it to diagnose, but at least you could see the messages. This is as fast as it's going to get. Some of these increments are so close to each other that it doesn't make any sense. But at the very least, you can see a CAN bus signal in there, which is pretty good. Which is good enough to know how it looks, but not much more than that. At least know that its presence is there. But hey, that's not too bad right there. So everything is pretty much basics on this, but a couple of things to note. You won't get min-max amperage on this. I would like to see if it's an automatic resetting circuit breaker on this thing. So let me set the amperage down as much as possible. We'll put 1 amp. It doesn't even go down to half an amp or anything like that. It's just 1 amp. And we're gonna do a momentary And it only does positive. Remember that on this setting, it only does positive. It's funny. It's on moment. Let me hit OK. It's on moment. Okay, you have to hit OK. That's weird. And it holds there. That's weird. It's on moment right now. It's latched. If I go to latch, it stays latched. If I go to moment, if you mess with it enough, okay, that was weird. But you guys saw it. It's probably something with it. Oh, there it is. So I don't know. On one of those button presses, it didn't actuate at all. Right there, it didn't. And there it's latched. Whatever. Not a big deal. I just found that out right now. It's not like I was totally by mistake. Anyway, what I was trying to do is I want to see if this thing has an automatic circuit breaker. It was one of the questions I had asked. And what I'm going to do is hold this down, hold this power button down, and just give it to ground. And it seems to just come right back. I don't know. Let's try this again. I don't like that. It doesn't cut off the circuit. It just like makes the tool go crazy. Let me see if you guys can see this. That is a little weird. I kind of would like to measure what happens when it's confronted with a circuit breaking event, or well, where there should be a circuit breaking event. So we got our tool, right? And if the component is shorted to ground, then our tool should have a circuit breaker in it. I'm gonna hit it now. I don't know if any amperage is flowing there. It says that the amperage is set to 1. Let me see. It's saying 20 amps on this thing. There's no circuit breaker. I don't like that. That is not cool. I'm sorry, but man, I told these guys I was going to be honest about this. Keep your eye on amperage, fellas. Keep your eye on amperage. Well, you know what? I'm going to zoom you guys in. This thing is set to 1 amp. 1 amp right there. You guys can see that? 1 amp. I'm going to go to momentary, and you guys keep your eye on amp, okay? This is set at 1 amp. Bam. It just reset the tool. And it's getting warm. I do not know how I feel about that. I'll tell you, actually, I do know how I feel about that. I don't like that at all. It is pumping out 20 amps. And the tool looks a little darker. Oof, they're not gonna like this. Guys, if we have a short, I mean, this is crucial. I know it probably seems now that I'm like picking at these guys. I'm not. They sent me a tool for free. I told them I'll do a review, that I'd be honest, but it's freaking hot. And it could, you know, what is that, a buzzer? I mean, it's not a circuit breaker. It's a buzzer that lets you know, hey, I'm pumping out 20 amps through this 1 amp circuit. I mean, the wires on a 1 amp circuit are very thin, and you're going to burn something out. It's supposed to cut it off. It's what I'm getting at. That's not cool. And they're not going to... Oof. I'm definitely going to show them this video. But that's how it is. I think everyone who makes a tool should be held held up to standard. And that's set at 1 amp. My goodness. I'm going to try this again. I know. People are going to get on my case for this one. Oh, look. Hold on. All right. Now it dims when I hit positive. Didn't do that before. I think I might just end up burning this thing out. I don't think it'll do GDI injectors. If it did, I ruined any chances of that happening, that's for sure. 1 amp, baby. Oh. It doesn't put out anything. Once this thing buzzes to the point, if you're on a 1 amp circuit and you're actuating something and you put latch on, you just want to latch it, actuate it, walk away, whatever, it doesn't matter. Once that thing starts buzzing, if you don't let it go after, what was that, like a total of like 5 seconds total, and this thing shuts off, that's it. You get no more actuation. There's nothing happening here. I'm touching this against the battery and nothing happens. So there's our actuation. Let me see if I disconnect this thing for a while. You gotta treat it like a computer, right? Treat it like a computer that it is. Let's see what would happen if we just do a little reset, master reset. It's a little brighter. It is brighter. Let's go back to, where was it? Multimeter? No, it wasn't multimeter. It was active. Let's set this thing to 1 amp again. Set it to 1 amp, right? Go to moment and hit up. Okay, so we're back in business. You have to disconnect your tool and kind of reset it in order to do this. So maybe it'll actually work. Nope. That's the circuit breaker. It's 5 seconds of 20 amps pumping through that circuit, and then it just stops. So you get a whole 5 seconds of 20 amps, and then it's dead. Then you disconnect it, reconnect it. It's at 1 amp again. Nope, still nothing. So you have to leave it off for like a couple seconds. Oh man, I that's not what I was expecting to go with this. I was expecting to be pretty happy with this for, a clone of another tool. At like a fraction of the cost. But I don't know how I feel about that. I'm definitely gonna let them know, and they're not gonna be happy. But they're probably gonna tell me, hey, you're not supposed to do that. But you know what? This is the automotive industry, and it still doesn't work. This is the automotive industry, and the tools that we use go through everything. It goes through everything. Would I recommend it? I don't know. Can't recommend something like that. I'm sure you would understand. I'm gonna get some real flavorful comments because of this video now. I was hoping for a happy ending, but I don't know. Let's see if we can get this thing to work. Maybe I killed it for sure. Let's see. We go to active. It's set at 1 amp already. Right? Gonna hit positive. Oh wait, we have to go to moment. Hit positive. Yeah, this thing's not coming back to life. There's no this tool is no longer actuating. After 10 full seconds of overcurrent actuation, it's still hot. It cooled off, but it got hot again. I wonder how it reacts. What else did it kill? All right, so everything else still works, it seems. The oscilloscope. Please, the oscilloscope work. Let's see. Yep, it works. Let's go back to actuation under active. And we'll put a latch on. We'll hold it up, hold it on, show that our red is there. And we got nothing. So, yeah. Now it's nothing more than a meter and an oscilloscope. And I don't know that it will do injector testing. Let's go back to injector. It does show some of an actuation, but I didn't hear any clicking like I did the first time. I think I'm gonna end the video at that. Sigmaprobe. I told you I'd be honest about it. This is not a dig at you. I think you guys got the right idea, but it's gonna need some work, and people are paying for this stuff, so they're gonna have expectations, and I hope you make it. I wish everybody success. Reach out to me. I know you will. And let's talk about this, because I can't recommend this to my viewers. I can't recommend this to my friends, my colleagues. I really wasn't gonna go there. Didn't want to, but I don't know that I'll go further until Sigmaprobe reaches out and fixes this issue. If they do, awesome. I'll update you guys. But in case anybody's wondering what my expectations are at this point of something in this scenario, I'm gonna show you what I'm expecting to see. I might even take it one step further and show you how fast it happens. But I'm expecting to see a circuit breaker for what it is. If you put it on the box, it has a circuit breaker. Maybe I got a dud. Who knows? We don't know. In their defense, maybe I got a dud. But this is what I'm expecting to see. I will set up my power probe hook, and we're going to go to 2 amps. It's got 2 amps. In their defense, in Sigmaprobe's defense, Power Probe doesn't even do 1 amp. It does 2 amps. And we're going to hold positive. And I'm going to leave it on so you guys can hear it. And as soon as I touch negative, no more actuation. And if I hold it, if I'm holding the button, no more actuation. Okay, let go of the button, press it again. It is instant. It is instant. I think we're going to break out the scope, see how fast this thing does. We're going to do everybody a favor and see just how long it takes for that current to for that circuit breaker to pop. All right, so I got my current clamp hooked up to my Pico scope, and we're going to hit positive, and we are at a 2 amp circuit breaker. I'm just going to hit this real quick. All right, so we have our capture. It is a triggered capture. I made it so that it would grab this as quick as possible, and we do see that it jumped up to about 6.96 amps, basically 7 amps, just for a split second. And I'm just going to measure the whole thing. You can decide how you would consider this. Let's see where the 2 amp mark is, and wherever it surpasses 2 amps, I'm going to start there. So I'm going to put 2 amps, right? And we can see that the first time that it hits 2 amps is right here. It's funny because I put my trigger real close. So we see our 2 amps right there. Let's just call it that, okay? From the time till it stops, let's go back to 2 amps. That's about right. 80 microseconds. 80 microseconds is the time it took for it to go from 2 amps up to that spike, back down to 2 amps, and then to cut it off. Total time until it was completely off, 110 microseconds. So that's That's pretty freaking fast. I don't know if you know that, but it's fast. Now, that was just a spike. It's hard to say where the connection was complete because, you know, even though I tapped it really fast, there's some things happening there, you know, and it's hard to say for sure where it was complete contact. I could technically, that hash right there, if you look through this waveform, if you look through the hash, you can see an even rise, right, up to 2 amps. So if we were to count according to that slope, instead of looking at the hash and going by that, which could be like a micro arcs, I don't know. Maybe Bernie Thompson could explain that, but I can't. I'll tell you this much. If we were to look at that slope and we look at the 2 amps, from that time till the time that it's completely off, we're looking at 107 microseconds. So that's what we're expecting here. I want to see if that changes, to be honest with you. Just out of curiosity. At this point, this video has turned into something else. But I want to see if it would change with a different amperage setting. So I'm going to change it to 10 amps. And I'm going to put this on 60 amps to see how high it goes. And try this test again. So I'm hitting positive, and as soon as I touch, that's what happens. So it is very comparable. Here it's much more clear as day. I'm going to put this at 10 amps and see where it surpasses the 10 amps. All that spike right there, that could easily be other stuff, but let's just assume that that spike is it. We're going to put one ruler here and one where it shuts off. 136 microseconds, that's not too bad. So anyway, I didn't want this video to go there, but you know what? I'm making all this whole thing. I was going to compare the two anyway, but I think we can see the differences, you know. But this one is a big deal for me. Circuit breaker is a pretty big deal for me. It's like going at a circuit without a fuse. I mean, especially on a 1 amp circuit. I digress. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you all learned something. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all next time.